interesting skill selection.
Yes, there have been some interesting choices. But then, look, he is good enough at Blood Bowl that you can assume whatever he's taken, he's going to know how to use it effectively.
But he cannot use catch because it's not there.
But yes. But I still think Elyod will win this.
When I played him, for example, with elves, he was very kind to foul, like every turn until he would get sent off.
That would be really fast for me.
Dark elves.
I mean, you always have to question as well, and I know it's true, for example, of Andy Daver, who I think is a fantastic coach, how much focus they're bringing to any format of BB they're facing. When you play a lot of different BB across a lot of different formats, it may be the most important game in the world to the person over the other side of the screen to you. To you, it might just be Game 3 on Friday. And actually Games 1 and 2 you cared about, and this league or this way of playing you're just doing for a bit of fun. So it's... Even with very, very good coaches, sometimes you get some interesting plays because they're not really that bothered.
No, like I'm often... I find myself playing a game meanwhile working, which means I'm just grappling off the plays and not really paying too much attention.
At the end of the day, it's a game, but I do think that his style is a little bit aggressive in terms of play style.
Well, I mean, certainly with the NAF pedigree he's got, that wouldn't be surprising, would it? The risk profile in NAF does tend to be a little different. People do try things that are a little more risky because, of course, the consequences are so much lower.
And some of us just play CCL that way as well because it's more fun.
Well, I was going to say, and some people bring that across to CCL.
Are we talking about Crystal Hunter?
I'll say I'm happily throwing my elves against the fence left and right. I don't care too much.
Oh, I've never given a shit about any of my players that dare to achieve things. They are pieces in a game. If they die, you get new ones.
Sometimes it just takes a long time. Oh dear. He does play other things. So yeah, it's a pretty nice looking orc team, and he did say goodbye to the troll as expected. So
he cut him pre-game.
What?
He cut him pre-game, did he?
Yeah, today sometime.
It's not a piece that's any value in this matchup, or in anything he's likely to face in the remainder of the tournament, to be fair.
Not really, and it was the difference between that. I think that was the whole problem with the 50k coming, was probably to get the wizard. Probably needed a 50k to turn those two babes into a wizard, which is not allowed.
I see, which is what he did, and Elyod cut the troll to avoid the wizard.
Yep.
Makes sense. Successful tournament strategy.
Yeah, and it's not with 3 rerolls and a team already. It's not like Ornan could cut anything really. He could have cut it a guard liner.
He's very, very tight to the line though. Anything you lose, you are losing something.
Yeah.
Whereas the troll was going to be Kok Orcs use in this.
Dodge lineman is, yeah. So it's, I understand it just going with... No, that's actually 9. He still got 2 more linemen in... Yeah, it's like me being the tabletop number 1. You can beat it for a really long time if nobody really plays the tournament. So he might be until the first World Cup in Blood Bowl 3 might be the reigning online world champion for quite a while.
Oh, online world champion. Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, it was online. That was my chuckle.
What would you be looking at if you wanted to play around the short movement of those Black Orcs Elyod's have?
You need to try and pull them over to one side of the pitch or the other. I mean, ideally, as elves always, you want to stretch along the pitch. If you can turn it into a linear game from one end to the other, then you've got the Orcs in a tough spot because they're not mobile enough to cope with that.
But the thing is,
but if you can't suck them onto you, or you can't push anything deep into their half that they care about, then the other option is, of course, move them side to side until you can isolate the Black Orcs.
But we don't need to forget that the Dark Elf is 3 blitzers, where one of them is minus movement. So there's actually only 3 movement 7 pieces on the Dark Elf's team as well. It's not like it's a speed monster of a team.
Yes, but he's still faster than the Line Orcs. He's still faster than the Black Orcs.
Yeah, but it's more
faster.
I think
and plus agility, it's also faster movement because you can
you're more able to adjust and move.
Right? But would you which turn would you start? And of course, everything depends on the position, but maybe basing with blodgers those Black Orcs to keep them in the center, not moving forward.
He got exactly 3 blodgers, and he cannot. As literally only one of them he can sacrifice. I think you don't want to sacrifice your blood guard. You cannot sacrifice your blood tackle, mighty blow strength 4 guard. That sidestep diving tackle is the only one he can actually.
Yeah, and that's again still it's very expensive to sacrifice because of the number of skills and because of its utility as and when you are trying to break a cage up. So I think my answer is probably none of them until the specific turn where you need them held in place.
Yeah.
So we might see these Dark Elves play a lot more like Pro Elves. They're looking for that key moment to try and engage.
Our Elfin Union, a Pro Elf, fucking hell, who cares? Might have been a disconnect.
Okay.
Because that makes sense, the counter is back up and counting down again.
Right.
It was also a really weird setup for the offense. But that looks like he's going to attack the left flank.
I lost, by the way, to this team, to Elyod's team in the first round. Was very unlucky to have him. It was not a bad matchup because I had Brett's, and I think I did put him in trouble with some movements with the movement 3. The movement 3 was a thing for him. But yeah, Elyod is really good, and the team is really strong.
I do think he only have 1 witch left. I don't know if he had 2. Do you know if Ornan had 2 at one point? Like I don't actually mind not. Whoa. Who had the fame? I think actually Ornan had the fame. That's hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he only have 1 witch health, but I don't know. I'm looking from his roster, he might have been running 2. I don't personally mind not running 2 witch elves in CCL, just because the heavy bass matter, it's sometimes nice having less 87 on the pitch. If you want to.
Yes, you can suddenly find yourself down 2 witch elves very quickly if you get one of them out of position or an unlucky dodge suddenly exposes both and you lose both.
Yeah, and if you want to
be very, very brutal.
If you want to play them like blood sidestep bully elves, it's nice to be having even 8, not 7. Not sure. What? Okay.
Over on the fat inside of things, it's gone from bleak to truly appalling.
Yeah, what did he try? Did he try to go for a score with like a line?
I don't know, I've just clicked back over there and seen the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I was looking down.
With the elves able to sort of do what they want. Yeah. So it's over.
It's not been great for the time. That's pretty aggressive.
Looks like he either got surfed or, slipped whilst heading up a sideline.
I have no... Why? Okay.
My client's still nowhere near catching up, so I'm still behind you in terms of the action.
Okay. So you run 3 scoring threats down, one of them with Loner. I'm not sure Elyod is going to mind to let that
Believe
happen.
that.
Even if it happens, who cares? With Elyod's team, he should spite ball that plus 80 if he cannot score. And he does not have anybody that can score.
He's doomed.
Oh! Was that anybody? Yeah, it's turn 16 and I cannot see any rats in scoring 10. And he just skipped, not using his wizard. Our bloody wizard something. He's too nice.
Absolutely. Particularly against someone like Dio, who does not need the help.
And he's... I bet you...
that's gotta hurt.
And I don't think Dio has skipped. If it's been the other way around.
No.
Yeah, it's playing the winner of this game.
Meanwhile, I like the fact that the Dark Elves have come very aggressively up into the Orcs' face and said, we can hold the ball this near you and it's not a worry to us.
Yeah.
But I'm still wondering if they mean it, this early score attempt.
He did set up with 2 high in one side already. Yeah, I'm with you, Kofi.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coffee.
I might even have fucking fouled something.
He's a lovely human, if somewhat robotic, but I would certainly be bolting. Yes, and possibly laying a boot in too. Because those elves are entirely too intact for this late in a tournament.
It's maddening. I think he did manage to miss himself, dodge himself to miss this game. Can we? That's a good stun. And then he is going for the... Oh no, he's taking him instead. That's... That's 4, 5...
Yeah, is that...
Guess he could get 2 dice on that Black Hawk if he really wants it. And hide behind...
Yeah,
side.
absolutely. It's possible to get a screen and a hit on it.
4, 5, 6,
but you're really relying on the power, or else the whole situation unravels very badly.
He is
yeah, that's what he's going for. It's very rowdy.
He's
I like.
He's putting all... Yeah, I'm not sure I do.
This has to surely be a power, and it is. So yeah, everything works because it was a good plan.
I'm still pretty sure Elyod is fine if he ends up scoring in 4 turns. If he has to score. Because next turn, half his team.
I certainly think he can score from
If it
here if he
works,
wants
it's
to.
okay, right?
What?
Sorry, Yak?
Nah, it's just the joke that if it works, it's okay, right?
Yeah. He is also. Let's say he's pushing pushing the pile. Oh my god.
If you're going to do some dodging, do lots of dodging.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hate that end state. He's secured his position on the sideline. He can score fairly easily from here. It's very hard to see how the Orcs stop him. It was a risky turn, but it's paid off. Like I said, if that Black Orc, the final one, hadn't been a POW on the strength 5, that was a position that did unravel pretty damn badly.
He did also, yeah.
It worked.
He found the yellow in all his blocks and made all his skill throws and dodges. It looks pretty.
Yes, I spotted that. But what can you do? That's Blood Bowl. If it all works, it all works. Some of the late dodges, it wouldn't have mattered if they failed. But it's to the benefit that they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, commiseration to Fatten, and welcome aboard, people watching a bit of rats versus elves. I'm a bit disappointed you didn't bolt the nickel guy in the end. If the chair's been turned around, I'm pretty sure your nickel guy had been bolted by Dio. Let's put it that way.
Yes, I was waiting for the bolt to come in, but I respect that it didn't. I try not to be salty. Though I'll throw a Toad 16 foul if I've got a bribe or if there's something there, or particularly if they've got an apothecary or something.
Yeah, banned. Let's ban Fatten for being soft. That sounds like a good reason.
Okay, well, the positional recovery there wasn't bad. We've got some Orcs back in some moderately threatening positions. You can still see the Dark Elves just easily scoring in 4. It's whether they can choose to hold on for longer. And frankly, it's only 2 or 3 dodges here from being almost entirely reversing the field. I mean, you can see 7 or 8 Dark Elves around the ball with all the Orcs the wrong side of it here, with only maybe 4 2+s. So is that what he's going to choose to prioritize? It's not really an Orc team you can see yourself doing a lot of chipping against.
No. Oop. He chose the right piece to dodge with.
Yep. And yet here we are. It does look like he's going to try and hit something, maybe. Because I don't understand why the hell that's gone there if not.
And there was much rejoicing.
He's spending an awful lot of energy and time on hitting those Black Orcs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a key advantage is when you have this much guard, you can get it done. But I'm sort of questioning why you want to. They've got AV9. I mean, leaving them on the floor does mean they're not going to come after you. But now it's looking much harder to secure the ball and move forwards.
Yeah, you need to keep rolling the yellow things to put them on the floor.
Yeah, because that's put the loner in an even tougher spot to dodge out from. And now you're short of cover for the ball, I would suggest.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Garda comes over from the other side, that can form a nice screen and you can still progress to the point where scoring next turns on, or else you hold up where you are. But even that looks vulnerable.
Let's see how he finishes this turn off. It looked like it's a good thing for him. He got an extra minute.
I mean, you can retreat. There's enough elves in the backfield that you can wall up there somewhere, but it's not what he wants to do. You can tell.
He's not going to. He's going to send the last 2 elves around that corner as well, up around that Black Orc.
That loner is just stealing one square from the blitzer, right?
Yeah.
It's not doing much more than that. I would have
No,
been tempted
it's making
to
the blitz
base
route a tiny bit harder. It's also making itself more available next turn.
But I don't know if I like that loner there. For example, basing the wrestler, I would
Yeah,
have loved that.
yeah, I would have been tempted to base the wrestler.
Yeah, why not? You're based with 2/3 of your team already, so.
Yes, sometimes you can just give so many targets that a couple of them are going to get away with it.
And also, it's not very risky for that elf to be hit by a wrestler, and he needs an assist, so he delays the orc team being able to progress back to their end zone. So
Yes. Oh, blimey. Well, I said he wasn't going to get a lot of luck chipping these pieces with his non-hitty skills, and of course, you know, I obviously know what I'm talking about.
well, at least that he's saving a movement for Black Orc.
Well, at least the apothecary worked, I suppose, is the upside there. But wow, suddenly again, it's turned into a wonderful position.
Just roll yellow and 10s. 10 me.
Yeah, the 3+2+ with the loner at the end really, really helped. There was all sorts of fun ways of using that to get pieces into difficult positions.
Yeah, they have too many skills.
And Elyod's got to be thinking there's got to be a fail coming in one of these dodges.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't like necessary or of the essence to remove that Black Orc for the spot to be secured. The question would be how long he could stay with the ball before scoring, but it was not a blitz looking for a lot, right?
No, I mean I think it was literally just about keeping one less hitting orc onto his pieces and getting his pieces in the backfield into a position where they can come back into the game next turn. They can just slip up this sideline.
We got an elf down. Elf down. And elf out.
There we go. That's one of the many guards.
Are you happy?
I think you have to apoth it, don't you? It's a useful piece, and I think you need all 11.
You were saying that some players are more conservative, others more aggressive, and well, I regret saying that our Ornan was aggressive because he's showing that he is not by not taking that Apo.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you, PC. I mean, of course you can lose more important players, and some players like to value the equity of the rest of the playoffs, but I don't know. I like that card.
I liked using it there. It's a guaranteed return. It's a piece that is useful because of its guard. Of course, he'll lose others against an orc team this rowdy, but you know, to keep at 11 for as long as you can with something that will guaranteed work. I wonder if we'll now see it get used on a missing or a stat down or a death and fail.
Yeah. Or even a more important piece, KO'd in a turn 16 before overtime.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are other good uses for it. You know, a KO to the plus strength, for example. I'd throw it straight on that.
Yeah, Elyod has been going for that naked guard every single turn of the game.
Well, I mean, absolutely, because you know you get more dice that hurt it, and it's a big missing for the Dark Elves. It's a lovely skill to have available on something with AV8 that can go anywhere with its agility 4. So.
And
you know, Ornan's tried to feed him the loners to hit, and you know you'll hit them when you can, but they're not a priority. No one's caring about those. They're not key to this game. I mean, unless they suddenly become key. And once again, with the big rowdy play, no dead orc.
No, that one.
Well, as I suggested, I mean the stall. It's always on. I don't think Elyod's got round the back of this well enough.
No.
And I think the Dark Elves can stay there as long as they want to. Even that piling on, I know it got the casualty, but it's reduced the movement. It's reduced the threat from the orcs in the short term. But it did chip a piece, so.
But what that was on purpose, right? I don't think Elyod was nothing but trying to push a little bit the the early score, but more focusing on removals. I don't see Elyod doing this.
No, I haven't seen him pushing to try and
neglecting.
stop this score at all. I think
Yeah,
after
exactly.
the rowdy turn 2 or 3 or whatever it was, when Ornan swept to the right, and that final 2-die on the Black Orc, came up with the beautiful Golden Suns. I think at that point Elyod has started thinking, I need to chip some pieces and get ready for a second half here.
Yeah, you do.
That seems to be how he's played anyway.
Yeah, and you take it if you get it. If he fails a dodge to leave something open, you can take it. Otherwise, you just keep. He's going to go for the mighty blow pylon hit on that guard again if he.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
the,
The one that's down by the line, I think, is getting piled on. It's in range. There's plenty of pieces near it.
Yeah, PC and yeah. Besides, if that loner should move around and tag it.
Yes, the loner on the wrestler should tag the pylon piece.
But it could, in theory,
But
fail.
it's a late in the turn priority probably, because he still needs to secure the position a little bit more if he's planning to stall out the half, which I think he is. I'm surprised we haven't seen the ones at the back come up yet. But perhaps he just wants off these dangerous Black Orcs.
Yeah, well, Elyod needs to care also about the mighty blow, because the Black Orcs are not gonna be fast enough to cover all the blitzers or make a solid base on the. The Elves are gonna get for granted another mighty blow on another piece, and it's armor value 9. But if Elyod loses a blitzer,
No, I think that's a mistake.
why did he roll a 1 in 36 that would give this? Oh, okay, no, I see the screen now.
He's not even moving.
That's a mistake too. Okay, so I still think we're seeing a piling on the guard piece.
Yeah.
The other option here is that you blitz through the side stepper, and then you could actually get some people around back and get some ball contact if you really want to. The strength 4 could dodge through afterwards, and then as could the plus move piece. It's only 2-3 pluses, and you can get all sorts of problems onto his ball. So there's 2 good blitz options here already.
Yeah, the problem
the only
is
2 you don't care about, obviously, are the 2 on the wrestler.
The only thing is, if you actually pile on that hit on the guard, if you need to do that, is Ornan can potentially just walk to the other side of the half if you cared about him, stopping him in any way.
Yeah, so you do need to make sure that he can't swap sides. You need to keep him penned in there. But I mean,
you cannot do that.
If he's going for the pylon, he's not putting the ball pressure on. So.
But then you cannot.
If he piles on and I'm Ornan, I think I can get the ball safe and foul.
I can swap sides absolutely if he piles on.
But you might still do it just because if you're going.
But I also don't need to. It'll give me a nice tighter pocket. I mean, yeah, he's definitely doing that. And I think we all knew he was going to. It's a good move. If he chips both of those naked guards, that puts the Dark Elves in a much worse position team-wise.
And just keep making him do dodges.
Yeah. However, he's not managed to pull enough rerolls off him yet. He's still got 3 rerolls and only 4 turns. So right now he's not going to mind, as long as this piece stays alive.
I'm really curious about what Ornan will do now.
Surely just blitzing that blitzer and to free up the loner and the guard, and then you're moving into the center.
I will be disappointed if he doesn't gang foul the pylon.
Really, he's already down to 10.
Yeah, but there's no Wapo on the orcs, and that's the only pylon.
That's true, and he does have 2 loners, which serve very little other purpose.
So it's 14 turns of not pylon on your team.
Could
plus
also
overtime.
just move away from now, so he cannot.
Yeah, he can just go far enough away that it isn't an issue to the ball, but he's going to leave some things behind if he does.
No,
I mean, I don't hate staying in that pocket. I mean, Elyod hasn't shown any real desire to try and bust it open, and it's possible to build a pocket there that will easily last till turn 8.
Or even give it up until turn 6 or 7. It's not so hard to stop the orcs from scoring with 3 movement, 3 Black
Yeah,
Orcs.
I'd rather not have to. I'm lazy, but you're right. It's not hard. But he is going for the side swap. That makes sense too. It
And you got the
renders
dodge
several of
piece.
the Black Orcs much harder to make relevant.
And you got dodge piece that can dodge out freely as well because there's no tackle there.
No gang foul.
Of
I'm
course there's
disappointed.
no... You
I'm
madman.
disappointed.
You madman.
No, I think with
For
10,
making a foul
it's very difficult to justify.
with a loner on
It's
how many
coming...
skills does that blitzer have?
To be fair, there is coming a foul.
Yeah, it does look like he is.
If he doesn't... If depending...
The ball needs to be just a... Yeah, the ball's now... I officially declare the ball safe.
But he's taking a sidestep. I will
Yeah, the
dodge
sidestep was
No.
presumably dodge first.
Yeah, you don't want a mighty blow hit on that.
But there is a
and he's
blitzer with
got
fast
the
movement.
reroll as well, so it's a 1 in 36 fail even with tackle on it. He'll throw the reroll into this
1,
if it's
2,
needed.
3, 4, 5, 6.
It is needed.
Ooh, I was about to say.
And there goes the reroll.
If you didn't had to reroll that, you might have getting an assist more down from the top. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Now the question here is, how much more do you... Oh, that's so feisty. Putting the sidestepper there as well. No, doesn't work. Just a stun.
Almost.
So now
this ball is looking very thin, but I mean it's obviously still safe, but you can put it under all sorts of pressure and make him score in 6 if you really want to here.
And at least make him roll some dice.
Yeah.
I love how he made this turn. I don't know if I would have made many things differently. But I liked it. It was a fun turn and interesting. With
It was
a
fun.
lot
It
of
was still a little
excitement.
risky, but I guess perhaps he feels as you said,
1,
that
2,
chipping
3,
that
4,
piling on
5,
piece would
6,
really
7,
change
8.
the odds for him.
It's to be fair, he could just do 1 dodge and hit it from the front with his plus movement if he wanted 1 dice to hit. That's just the 3 plus here. It's just the 3 plus here.
The problem with that is that it's the only piece you'd get round the back of it, whereas if you go through the blitzer right in the middle, you can cut the Dark Elves in half.
I agree with proper test. I was about to say before, like 1 minute ago, there is a blitz on the ball because of the blast movement, but then I shut up because of what purpose test is. Dump off plus all the elves plus nobody's gonna get there. It's more or less a trap. Please do that.
I don't. You might run him around anyway.
Yeah, I might do that late, but what I would probably do first is put something feisty up on that blitzer in the middle.
Oh, if we got plus
and it's also possible to hit it onto the plus move piece. Okay, he's pushing it back towards the other chunk, which guarantees him ball contact. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I don't
At this
know
point,
if I
as
like
I'm
it.
not stopping him, I might have been tempted to throw a re-roll in and try and get some damage. Just a greed re-roll.
It's 3 re-rolls.
I agree with that. And now I agree with Elyod focusing the pressure on the group of elves with his pylon piece instead of the ball, because the ball is safe.
Yeah, there's still going to be plenty of ball contact. It's just not coming from those first moving pieces.
No, and you can still, if you put in, you can still get a double side on those the free elf as well. Now run the plus movement around to the other side, so there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It could lock those down. It prevents him easily moving to the... I mean, he still can, because that whole chunk of elves can, depending on if this final blitzer dodges out successfully, if it does, that can really put the Dark Elves in a position where they do have to score. If it fails, then there's enough elves that can actually sweep around and pretty much hole up either side.
That blitzer there is very important. Otherwise, there would be a mighty blow on the...
It is. I would definitely be re-rolling this 4+3+ and trying to get out, because if I do, I pretty much guarantee they score. No, that's crazy.
It's an even 9. Why not freaking try?
Yeah, exactly. It's ceding too much position to me over a very, very tiny risk of losing it.
And 4+, the first one is likely to work as well. And then the next one is alright. It will also for Elyod be nice if that blitzer didn't knock everything down.
Yeah, not get to do this and give him a very easy stall over in the other corner. Well, that's what I would have hoped, and that's why I'd have put the 4+3+ to the test. And I'd have thrown a reroll at it as well.
Yeah, you got 3 rerolls. That's
I think that right now, if I'm Ornan right now, I have clearly in my mind that what I have to do is go to the corner and be happy there for the next 2 turns. But I don't want to, because I want to put a feet on the head of that pylon again.
you are officially a madman.
Yeah, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying that it would take me some time to, negotiate with myself not to do it.
Everybody dodge now.
Yeah, 1-36 at some points in this first drive would have been terrible for Ornan.
It's a good strategy.
It doesn't have to be always like that. That 1-36 loses you the match, right, KFoged? You play a lot with elves.
And sometimes it does.
Yeah, sometimes it does, but I feel that Ornan has been playing that card since turn 3.
Yes, well, I mean, that feisty turn 3, it was the same. But as we said, sometimes you've got to... Being frightened of rolling dice, you can't be afraid to win. Yeah. If it is... Even if it's a chancy turn, but you think it's going to solve the entire half, as that turn 3 eventually looked like it did. I look back on it now, and I think it was possibly a risk worth taking.
I don't think you had to do it, but I don't mind doing it, as we both know. I don't mind turning the side of people and playing. Oh, it removed itself. But I do prefer getting my opponent a little bit forward first before I do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and again, what I was wasn't thinking. There a reroll option there? He turned down.
2 rerolls, 2 turn. Yeah, he might have been.
He might have rerolled, yes.
I think he probably should have done. But although you never know, the grass is going to break you. But
no, but I agree with you, PC, because the ball was so safe that you feel that you have that reroll to spare, and you can...
and then this last loner could have dodged off, and if it fails, obviously it doesn't matter. But now it's getting hit as well, so it's about compounding that risk, isn't it?
Yeah, the failure state, which is not only...
It's not terrible. It's only 1 elf at risk, but it's not ideal.
And he did use the apple this time, right?
Yeah. But if it's going to be a tight corner, if you take the dodge dark elf from top and piling people around as well.
It's basically saying, is this second reroll in these 2 turns that are left, worth rolling this armor?
Well, I don't think he's going to need one in turn 8. I think turn 8 should be step over the line. So I would have used it, but
yeah.
I mean, I can understand why not. It only put 1 loner at risk ultimately, and you've got to imagine that with AB8, if you fall over, you're going to be fine. It was really unlucky that it wasn't, obviously.
But that's what I'm talking about. I all the time I play goblins, and I know about.
He's getting a lot. He's getting.
I all the time I'm in these situations, and I'm considering the value of not rolling the armor roll, even if it is armor value 8.
Why?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Surely he should have put a black orc in there and used the chain.
Oh, something. I don't freaking care what. You could have even waited with that, and could he get somebody else? Even the only problem is, of course, it's only the black blocker. But yeah, it seems crazy.
No, you could have done a 2 go for it's with the guard black orc.
Yeah, that'd have been perfect.
And moved the other ones first, and then done the 2 go for it. And if you got it, there was a lovely chain where you could have pushed the plus move blitzer next to the ball as well, which would have just made it a slightly tougher spot. So I liked that, but. Or this one, the one that's just moved, the one with just blocked, could have done a single go for it, but then it wouldn't have been able to go around the corner like that.
But you're right. It was a very important spot to take that square, because you would have two pieces threatening the key corner of the cage in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. It is the strength 4 dude. Where's the strength 4 dude? But it's not an easy chain with all the guard though, Garion.
No, I mean I think the Dark Elves there's a fairly easy stall up here.
Yeah, but they might need a reroll.
It's two dodges away from being fine.
Yeah, but they might end up needing that reroll to dodge.
They might end up needing that reroll. I might look very stupid.
At least they might end up in situations where they wanted a reroll.
I'm used to being wrong. I've been married a long time.
Purple City, if he had used the reroll, probably he would have made the dodge, and he wouldn't have only one guy in covering the north side of the ball. So
yeah, but if my auntie had a cock, she'd be my uncle. I mean, we can play this game all night. The fact is, he did make the dodge. He didn't re-roll it, and we are where we are.
I'm talking in terms of
maybe she is
needing the second reroll. Maybe he needs it because he didn't use it.
Yes, yeah, and exactly the same. If you have a Yeti, you face bigger teams that you feel you need a Yeti against. But if you didn't have a Yeti, you wouldn't face them. There are lots of situations like that in Blood Bowl. Right, well, the way he's chosen to do this, he actually needs 2 more dodges to be 100% safe, but it should still all be fairly simple. They're both 1 in 36s.
Yeah, but he's looking...
They never go wrong, do they?
He really, really wanted to block, I bet.
He did. You can feel it. Everybody wants in life, isn't it? A hitty elf.
It was too easy for Ornan this turn to free up that corner, that key corner.
Yeah, it really was.
But that's not really surprise. It was telegraphed.
Well, I wasn't crazy on the angle of the blitz, but it was probably the right blitz. I thought there were ways of pushing a bit more into the face of the Dark Elves, which would have made this a little bit harder.
He is doing the blitz first. Who cares about the risk of
getting... Of course he is, why not?
Is he doing the he's surely not doing the 1 dice block as well.
He's got the rerolls, why not?
No, he's
no, he's not.
A little bit insane.
Wimp!
Can he... Oh, piling on do this caught with Lino. And it's... Oh, he's strength 4, so he's... What is the... Okay. I'm not sure what that Lino is doing there.
It's getting away, isn't it, from being hit? It could have moved 1 square, instead it moved 6. I suppose you have to go up the line here just to create a little bit of ball contact, but...
If I'm Elyod, I'm trying to chip the dodge Lino.
No, take the blitz. If you push the blitzer down, then at least you can block it again. If you could just...
But you can also block the blockless Lino again if you blitz him with Pylon.
Where's the blockless Lino?
Behind the plus strength blitzer.
You're surely getting him to at least have to either block or roll the one and risk the snake eyes on the dodge to score.
Yeah. Do you think
it's better
because 1 in 36 times it works, but it's. I mean, I can see the logic in what Yak's saying of trying to chip that dodge piece behind the action. Yeah, it's only 1 go for it for the pylon to hit it, and then it could hit it into the other Mighty Blow Orc blitzer.
I mean,
but instead he is looking to get some ball contact, isn't he? It looks like
the chances of chipping with pylon are higher than the chances of not scoring. I know that the value of not scoring is huge, but so much higher than that they are attractive.
Yes, so a reasonably high
he's going,
chance
for the
of
6+.
1-0 down and 9 players.
Well,
he actually went for the cage dodge, the 6+. Well, that's feisty.
For the 1 dice.
Got that?
Dump off.
I don't hate that. Because if that, he cannot dump it.
That's better than blitz in the cage.
He can. It's 3+3+. He could try it. Hitting that dude is. Oh shit! It's a wrestle loose. That's a 4+. Nope.
Didn't dump off.
No, that's. Oh.
A little unlucky. Had it just bounced through the cage and out the other side, he'd have stopped him. I mean, I like the 6+ there. It was proper rowdy, but if you're, if it's not going to harm, and as we said before, AV9, it doesn't really matter if you take to the grass, which is why it was confusing. He didn't dodge the blitzer out from the line where it was trapped the time before.
It's even more unlogic now, right?
Yeah, because a casual 6+ he'll have a go at. Although that was game winning, so it is different.
Yeah.
Now there isn't there, a goblin, but now no troll to throw it. So,
but it's still that's a movement 7 blitzer, so you still need to think about what he does.
I will bet you my firstborn son we don't see an Orc 1-turn touchdown here.
If he gives him a title line of scrimmage, I hope he bloody at least try to start the push chain and see if, and just abandon it as soon as you need to use a reroll, because he's giving him the best. Like you're saying, that's one rule in Blood Bowl. That's one thing. No matter what you do, you never should do.
And what's that?
Yeah,
tight line of scrimmage is the only thing.
Oh.
That's the only. Yeah, that's basically the only thing he's.
Core, but I would do it because I would like. I have done this. I think I did it against you once.
But
it is that I want you. Sometimes I want you to try the 1-turn touchdown attempt because
rather than maximize your blocks.
But you can do. The thing is, you can do both.
This guy has one orc bench. He has one orc bench, and he's gonna foul. He's not the same.
You can do both. If you're doing a movement,
with these 3, I can set up diagonals to the point where I can hit these 3 guys 5 or 6 times easily.
But you can still do it basically where you just do the first blitz.
And
if you get the push, you can always abandon.
If you don't get the 1-turn, I'm saying that if you hit them the proper way, your chances of removing are increased a lot. If you stop the 1-turn,
the chances. Yeah, the chances of removing a player is the same if he goes down.
I don't agree.
Yeah, if he's going down, the odds is the same.
I don't agree. For example, the Pylon Mighty Blow will take the Pylon Mighty Blow will take pushes instead of yellows. So that is already reducing a lot of the chances of removing.
But I'm not necessarily agreeing he should actually use the Juggernaut. I'm saying you take the first blitz with somebody, for example, a Black Orc, and see how it goes.
Do you see what happens? It's a developing situation, I get it. But in choosing to do so, you are not putting your most effective blocking pieces in the position where you get the most dice, and you can always take the POWs against the other 3. He has a point in that.
That was very precise in his words, yes.
And still, because they're blockless players, he can still set up to get Mighty Blow hits on everybody else. Even if he doesn't get the chains to look like he's needed. If he wants
and actually, as he only has 2 Mighty Blow, it's less of a factor anyway.
He can do both easily with the team he has.
And it looks like that is what he is trying to do.
And he got enough guards, so he's getting 3 dice with the 2 Mighty Blow anyway.
And let's not forget that you will have a test of Armor Value 9 against the floor. And sometimes...
He's not getting the pushes, so it doesn't matter. He needs so many pushes, he's most likely not getting. Happen. But I don't hate him setting up. So at least if you get the pushes, you will take the chance and see. Because if you can score, you can potentially win the game here and there.
Well, it's one of those beautiful situations where I can say I think you're both right. Core's right. Any chance you don't go 100% of the time doesn't work. Whereas even if this is 0.2% play, then that's a 0.2% that some people feel they absolutely have to take. Whereas actually to set up like this, it does mean you are not looking absolutely at your first point of reference is, how do I make these 3 dice? How do I take every block I can and then follow up with other blocks? So I think there's a point in both of what you're saying.
Yeah, but it is one of the beauties of Blood Bowl to passionately debate about the multiple options because, you know, it's so fun.
And then all agree that I'm right.
Yes.
So perfect defense. So that's completely screwed both of those. Why is he setting up on the Mighty Blow?
I have no clue what's going on here.
Why are you setting up on the Mighty Blow?
So
don't do that. That's stupid.
So now he's still getting his 2 Mighty Blow hits. And he can still get 3 dice on both of them if he wants to. And I will prefer just going for the 3 dice with the 2 Mighty Blow hits.
Well, to be honest, the Mighty Blow pylon was going to blitz anyway, so...
Yeah, but...
But now it gets to block and the other Mighty Blow gets to blitz, so... Yeah, certainly I'd be hitting with both Mighty Blows this round.
Yeah, I guess that's the upside of it. It's definitely...
I don't know, I might hit the loner with the Black Orc and then blitz the other one. Although the strength 5 there makes a 3 die very tempting, doesn't it?
I don't see
a single assist.
I don't see a way for Ornan to prevent the 2 Mighty Blows from hitting.
No, probably not, because they are spread enough, so you cannot really get rid of them.
No, but no, that's true. And even if you set up off the piling on one, it's got the range to get over and hit even the non-loner piece.
So starting with the easy 3 dice, and then we're running, so I'll imagine.
I'd have thought that's the foul target if there is one, because it can use rerolls.
I don't think he's with only one pin.
I don't think he should, but he might. He's got a goblin.
So that's the first 3 dice. Ooh. And now I've got 6 dice to get that.
Well, and he's got the rerolls. If he doesn't get a POW, you'll reroll that as well, surely.
Do you think that Ornan might have planned that the fall would happen on a loner, saving the non-loner piece?
Maybe.
I think is yeah, we like it. Come on, Black Orc, get a skill. Come on. Oh, so close.
Oh, nearly. Well, I respect the attempt. If you're going to vanity pass, do it on something that's actually going to benefit. Right, so we go in for oranges at 1-0. And Elyod up against the wall.
So he didn't foul to be able to foul in the second half?
You want to foul something that's actually good.
If you're gonna throw your 12th player away, it's probably best to wait and do it on something that's worth it.
Okay, so we agree that he was not going to foul anyway.
And never ever in a lifetime. There's so few good players in that Dark Elf team. I'm pretty sure you don't see him foul. Besides if it's one of the ones with 3 skills or more.
Yep.
Once he's at 9, if I had a gang fall on the non-loner,
yeah, possibly the last guard if he got the other guard out first a different way, for example.
But it's a bit harder when he also protect the ball against strength 4.
But yes, 11 versus 9. You need to chip a couple before you start fouling as well, because going to 10-10 is not great against elves.
Mm-hmm. So, blitz protection, right?
Ask Siggy.
Well,
Ask Siggy how you don't do that. Oh.
I am experimenting a lot with stand firm because if I was an elf player, I would have frenzy, for sure. Like one of the first skills I would pick on a blitzer, because for all these teams with strength 4, it's, well, of course, dark elves, they have the witches, but I'm talking about pro elves, high elves, and even woodies. It's so easy to stop the blitz if you dare to take the line, the first line, and place your strength force in the corners.
Oh no, he cannot pass the ball now.
It's Blood Bowl 2020 now for him.
That Black Orc is never getting his pass now.
That now does become very difficult. But then, I mean, Elyod's already looking at an overtime game, so the weather could change again. And there goes the first elf. So now we are in an 11 versus 9 game. That's starting to look like sort of numbers he's really going to want to see. He's going to want to secure, obviously, a massive on-field advantage before overtime, so it doesn't matter where the ball lands.
Yeah, he still needs to watch that string 4, dude.
Always. Now, a lovely deep kick as well. I'm a bit surprised that, is he going to try and hold that line against the Dark Elves? No, he's already seeded the backfield, so we're going to see some Dark Elves come around and try and get between the ball and where the Orcs are.
It's a bit rowdy if that 83 misses with 2 hands.
Yeah, it really is. And even if it makes, maximum progress having picked up without go for it, it's still in a tight spot next turn, possibly. Depends what happens on over on the other flank. If he opens that one up too, then I'm going to be screaming at Elyod. I mean, why take 2 elves out if you lose the game? Okay, it looks like he's building something solid now. Yeah, there we go. Good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a non-blocker, so he's not getting stuck. Up, and that's a dead guard. So even if Ornan should win, that team is just as fucked as mine.
Yeah, that's a big, big turn. I know it was only a loner and a rookie elf that disappeared before the guard, but that's a big swing in numbers, and it's going to really expose the good players. You've got to tuck him back on the side, haven't you? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can't expose both flanks to even this few elves.
He still needs to make this big up, so he can get up to the...
If he fails it, he's still in trouble.
Perfect turn for him.
Yep.
It was close, but no cigar. Yeah,
so how crazy do you go if you are Ornan here? If I don't see a shot at the ball, I would just run away, flee from the orcs, and hope for a 4+ on the toss.
That's tempting. You've only got 6 elves. That's tricky. The only way to the ball is through a line of orcs, and that's tricky. I mean, it's possible. I don't hate the idea of one dying that black orc out the way, and then 3+2+ing everybody through and mass basing the ball. But I suspect you're right. We're going to see an attempt to chip and just hope for overtime ball. And he gets it with a KO. So, okay, that's a little bit of help. And there is 1 elf that could possibly come back. There's only 3 that are dead.
That's only fair. That removal was only fair.
Yes, but it's only a KO, isn't it?
Yeah, and Ornan do have 2 KO babes, so his KO
he does.
Should come back.
Yeah, his KO should come back.
But he's still...
And 8 elves with the ball in their hands and some rerolls, you've got to think can score against just about anything if they get the right dice. Particularly with a strength 4 to do some blitzing and a nice blodger to hold the ball.
And dump off. Dump off with accurate. And pass.
Sorry. Oh dear. Adev, welcome to the game.
Evening, Adev.
I'll try to stop chuckling now.
Hey, AB, come on, it was a joke. So easy jumping on poor Jack.
Yes, I think it's from an external perspective where one looks at the dice both players are receiving and you say, well, that balanced some of the dice from the turn prior. But no, there is no fair in Blood Bowl.
Oh.
Right, so the ball has now come to line, at which point everything gets much tougher for an elf team that's short on numbers. There just wasn't the space when the pickup happened, and because he walled up on the other flank, it just wasn't possible to get back there. Can this few elves really hold this many orcs back? I'd love to say yes, but I don't think so. I think we're looking at overtime already.
It is actually hard to hide and flee from a team in a whole drive because you are tempted not to do it. That's the first difficulty. Okay, I removed the Black Orc. I think I can do this now, and then you're tempted to go to the risky, maybe not worth it route. And also, once even if you convince yourself, you really need to do it right.
That Black Orc, there's something going back there, right? Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say there's chancy and then there's just blatant suicide. Good, so that's nice and locked up. Very little progress, but he's secured the position, tightened things up.
He's not in a hurry.
No, Core, you did this against me. There's a 4+, 3+, 3+ to the wall, right?
Yeah, 4+3+ for 1 dice. I don't hate it. In the position he's in, and he
Yeah,
puts
the
it up
position he's
to
in,
the,
it's...
and he can push it up to the right. Can he actually get
It's a 2D.
One,
It's a
two,
2D.
three?
He can go with
Yeah.
3 2+.
Yeah, he could with a, and he could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could easily getting the other blitzer around non-dodge.
Maybe he didn't see that because I'm pretty sure that he had seen that he would have tried.
Yeah, that's that was pretty open actually with 3+. Where was he standing? He was there. Yeah, 4+, 3+ for 2 dice.
And there was recovery.
Yeah, and you got the other blitzer from 4-3-3. No, he was standing there, right? So he could have 4 in behind and then 3 in there. It's only 2 dodges. He could come from this square.
He could even try to position a blitzer in the Orcs field, and then before the blitz.
It was only 4-3.
Exactly, and punt. He could have tried the blitz, have another piece available for the pickup and the punt after placing 2 scoring threats.
4+3+ dodge into 2 dice. That's 50%, 52% for sacking. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. Instead, we've got a nice tight wall and a quick foul attempt.
Yeah, he might think he's still able to just keep him away with the sidestep on one side.
I'm really afraid of this match finishing with 2 elves in overtime, because that's not an outcome that I will like. And Ornan is putting himself in the position right now for that to happen. He's trying to defend the drive.
He's trying to defend the drive, yes. But that's how you win Blood Bowl games, isn't it? by scoring more than the opponent.
Sure. That's right. But you choose how you win, right? You choose. I will risk to win this match on defense, or I will risk to win this match on overtime. I'm just saying that it is funnier to see the overtime time cost moving.
Yes,
And
I'm kidding with you, obviously, but yeah,
you get my point.
I do. And Pommer's got a Pom. That's what they were born to do. So in it goes one more time, and another casualty. It's really done its work this time.
And this is what I was not wanting to see.
Oh, did I miss
Well,
a dead
7
elf?
elves and the ball can still do something, but we are reaching peak elf, or not a million miles from it. But on the other hand, there's still a reasonable distance for the Orcs to go, and they've only got 5 turns to do it. So, it's again, as you said, I think you're right, Yak. It's that, is this trying to be keep the elves alive and wait for overtime, or is this trying to be stop them now and win before overtime? And I think in going slightly halfway between the two, you can often end up doing neither.
Exactly. Because there's also a problem with that positioning of the last turn, and it is that if the Orcs chip one piece, since you are there right now, that Blotch guard is also gonna get pile on, and this is a chain. This is a chain that you cannot undo now. You're in this motion, and if the Orcs pile on every turn, and there are 6 more turns, you're not gonna stop them from scoring. You are very unlikely gonna stop them from scoring, and it's gonna be boring to see pile on, chip, and then I don't know if there will be 4 elves for the overtime try to score in 2 turns.
Well, we've seen him foul it before. Perhaps he'll throw another foul this time. Hope to finally remove it.
So even if he wanted now, he cannot disengage. He cannot flee from the Orcs because he's always leaving someone behind. So
Yep.
cannot use a reroll for that dodge. He's gonna foul.
Which also exposes one flank massively. I don't love it. Very risky.
And an armor value 7 piece. If you placed that loner to the right of the armor value 7 piece, maybe Elyod was tempted to blitz that instead, the loner, to get a advantageous position in that flank.
Yeah.
I'd still go through the AV7 and just straight down the middle. I think you're strong enough to do that. But yes, I see your point. You could have tried to tempt him into doing that instead and going around the outside.
Yeah, exactly. But he could put the armor value 7 one square right. So, because both hadn't moved, so.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a cold drink.
But it is. It's
the question now was: am I gonna do this 3D or not?
Yeah.
Not even necessary.
Yeah. 10. But to be fair, I know piling on, but it's at least Orcs don't have claw, because the thing is, piling on a armor 8 piece to a KO or cast is like 33%, and you need to get it down first, which is 50%. So it's still, in theory, pile-on is still not every. It's not every turn it should work. It's been efficient.
It's not about whether if it should work every turn. It is about you will give him those pile-ons for nothing. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, you can say no. I do have very good odds of getting the ball from him or stopping him from scoring, but no, No, because even if you don't get the removals, you're gonna suffer the armor breaks, the stuns, and you don't have enough elves to stop those orcs from
No, I'm.
going,
If it's
or
me,
maybe or the odds that you
we
have.
don't need to argue. If it's me, I'd take the 4+3+ for the sack.
Yeah, exactly. I would have done that because I know that if it doesn't work, my players can stay in the ground and the orcs can mess it up, fouling in the middle of the field. I would be happy with those odds. There is no bribe, and if he on a foul he loses an orc, he's suddenly down players, and I can decide whether to stand up or not. If he wants to continue fouling, he needs to stay in the middle of the field, away from the end zone. And if he splits the team, I'm elves. I'm so fine with him splitting the team. But what I will never do is to stay one square far from his full team with all my elves exposed for just 8 or 6 turns of pylon. It's I don't see it. I don't like it. It's not.
He's not going to.
Even if it was okay from the odds perspective, it's not how I like to go. It's not the way I want to lose. It's boring.
So
Yeah, exactly. I fully agree with what AD just said. He can't shy away.
We going back to try to chip some orcs for overtime, I guess. Lona, is he going to foul it as well now? Then you dodge out and mark the lineman up here, and then you can foul that square. No?
No. If he had moved all his players to the right side from the orc view, he would not have been pylon again, and Elyod would have scored. But I don't know.
Yeah, he might get piled on because he doesn't actually need to move right now. He might try to take that guard blitzer as well now.
I guess I'm much more sensitive about this because I played a lot of Stantis for a long time, and I've been in this situation so many times. When you're aware of the fragility of your team.
Okay, so I've just sat down, and obviously the first thing I did was count dark elves, and there's one less on there.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm more sad and more sad and more sad every turn.
Don't be sad. We need a
It's
team
not,
to be.
It's not because I want, and it's not because I want Ornan to win or anything. It's because I don't like, from a fun perspective, the way it is happening.
It ain't over till the fat elf sings, and still, even with very limited elves, if he got the ball in overtime, if he set up a very feisty one-sided attack
with the strength 4
and managed to make some 3+s, it could still easily be a dark elf win here.
But that dark elf team meeting Dio's elf team.
Yes, I mean, I thought it was an 80% Elyod at the start of the game. I now think it's a 95% Elyod, but you should never count a team out in Blood Bowl.
No, we could in theory also still just dodge in and get double yellows in turn like 15.
And in terms of the spectacle, with Dio's team unharmed because Fatin is just too nice a human to use his utterly redundant wizard on the elf that was begging to be bolted. In some ways, it's quite nice that the Orcs are going to go through and bring some power up against that power, and we'll see a classic matchup of styles.
Yeah, I was looking at that elf. I've been tempted to bolt that elf early.
I wouldn't like to be Elyod against Dionysian's team.
It's still. I think they still have the weakness. It's a few It's a little bit like Ornan's. It's a few really good players and a lot of fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that Dionysian knows how to
use it a bit more effectively than we've seen these Dark Elves used.
I don't want to say exactly that. I want to say that
No, so I did.
Dionysian thing. I think that he will
Yeah,
not
but the
try to
defense
lose the way
is
Ornan
three
did.
line.
I mean,
The thing is,
in Blood Bowl, you do choose how you lose, and I don't see Dionysian choosing to lose this way.
No, he'd do a way that you'd like. He'd run away from the Orcs, hide in a corner, and wait and see if he got the overtime ball.
Exactly.
which is so much more fun.
Yes, to not play Blood Bowl. It's definitely the best way to play Blood Bowl. I'm a huge fan.
It is playing Blood Bowl. There are whole teams designed to play that way.
Yes, Garandia's team does have a deep bench, but a bench full of trash. It just means that they can keep putting elves into the grinder and keep the good ones safe, which is what you want at that level. If you haven't got a fully developed team, you want your good players safe, and you want lots and lots of fodder to feed into the cruncher and keep those players ready to be effective.
Yeah,
and Core was saying it before that this is not Claw Mighty Blow Pylon. It is not Claw.
No, in theory, it's 55% to get the yellow thing, and then you 33% afterwards if you first get the yellow thing to actually remove a armor 8 piece.
Oh, don't start me. You'll get my rant about how piling on should not be an auto take on teams that don't have claw.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine, and like
it's fine. It just
fine,
isn't an auto take. It's not as good as people think it is without claw backing it up. And often it can leave you, as I've said before, if you haven't broken armor, then there's a good chance you don't break it again. And if you have broken armor, then what more do you want? You've already got the position. You've got the piece neutralized. I mean, having said that, this game, it has, of course, been extremely effective, and sometimes it can be.
But sometimes you also just get killed on every normal hit without piling on. That's part of a dice game.
And in a situation like this, where thinning the Orcs is something you're actively trying to do, then piling on is useful for it. I'm not saying it's not. It's just not as good as people think it is. Claw, Mighty Blow, piling on is as good as people think it is.
That's outrageous.
Mighty Blow, piling on is not.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're playing against goblins.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's be back again armor 7, because then everything is like claw.
Yeah, in Blood Bowl 2020, I think that Skaven, for example, with their armor value 7, got some distance in, let's call it, fairness compared to armor value 8 and 9 teams, because they suffer the Mighty Blow, and there's nothing they can do. They cannot get claw on their blitzers and make the others suffer the equivalent to armor value 7 and Mighty Blow. As the new claw means that armor value 8 is the best armor.
Oh, where is that out going? I see, just following up into that mess now, just to try to hook all the... Okay.
I don't quite know why. I mean, I guess at this point you're just looking to...
Where is he going? Oh, he was going to try to attack the...
Oh, he's trying to go around and base. I see.
And he's spending a reroll on it as well.
He is. It's all about that base.
Oh my fucking god.
About that base.
That's about it.
Wow, that was also a rowdy route to the base.
Why not just wait to next turn?
Why not do the 3+, 2+ rather than the 4+, 3+? But
why not? Why not the sack on turn 2 of the second?
Which was 3+, 4+, 3+.
With a full team.
It won't get pumped.
Well, the team wasn't quite full by then, but it still had many more elves than it does now.
Yeah.
And yes, I think when you're in that situation, I'd much rather get, I'd much rather regret the things I've done than not done.
Yeah, the thing is, by going for this turn, there's no way he's going to do it next turn because he's out of range.
Yeah, he's out of range and out of position.
I could even agree with the reroll, because you know that if you get the ball in the overtime, you're gonna use
You
only
might need to
2,
re-roll every single turn, yeah.
and you
Because
have
you're going
2
to have some
turns to do
tricky
it.
dice.
Exactly. But yeah, the momentum.
But yeah, I think I've just been dodging back instead and waiting for next turn and try where I was free it up
Well, also
fast.
because at turn 15, any kind of basing of the ball, particularly if you can knock the ball over, there's always that chance of the 1 in 36 or the 1 in 9 that wins you the game. Whereas turn 15, they've just got longer to sort it out.
So if we measure how well Ornan controlled the pylon in the second half by counting how many turns Elyod didn't got to pylon,
Now it's
he
getting
failed the
fouled.
exam, right?
Like I said,
Well, see, I mean, it's what makes pylon look better than it is. To continue my mild rant, is that when you're already on top of a team, you can afford to pile on because you don't need the piece positionally. So then you get, the roll picks up speed as it heads down the hill, and you end up with an avalanche like you have here.
Yeah, like I did say,
where you just keep going and going.
He was not going to foul before he was a 3-skill piece he could foul, and exactly what he did. The first time he had a 3-skill piece.
3-skill piece down with some reasonable assists and no need for the piece positionally.
And now the guard is getting 3 dice palmed as well. I'm taking that palm with 3 rerolls.
I can only strongly agree with you, Purple Chest, and this is what a coach should try to avoid by, with his skills, be away from the pylon and forcing that any position where it is pylon, my team will not be there to be blitz again.
Yeah, and you can marginalize it away from the rest of the orcs, and if the orcs try and reunite with it, then you're moving them around rather than them moving you around.
Just put a lone on in a couple of turns, meanwhile the rest of the game continues away from it.
I mean, all of this is a lot easier said than done, though. The orcs have had some lovely dice, particularly in the second half. And as I said, once it gets rolling with these sorts of kill skills, you can just keep doing it because the risk is less and less with less and less elves.
There's also you need also protect yourself mentally, because you can very easily mentally fall down once you're trying to defend, receiving the injuries, seeing the game lost. If you think that if you go into that spiral, you're not gonna be able to disengage and you're gonna give up on the game.
That's
Don't
4
put
elves.
yourself.
And he rolled a 1 on one of his KOs. He gets another go at it, but
all
5 elves. Can you offer us any hope? You're an elf lover, Core.
It's enough.
It is enough. 2 elves is enough, unfortunately.
It's better with 4. It's better with 4. Then you have 1 to get the ball, 1 to run forward, and 2 to make a sideline screen in front of it.
Yep. I mean, even with 1 elf, I'm not taking my eye off it, but 2 elves is always enough.
Yeah, but it just needs some more go for it.
I love the last word. 2 elves are always enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, somebody was about to throw away a game against 2 elves. No names mentioned.
No, I wasn't even nervous. I was so frustrated and mad. I couldn't control 2 fucking elves. I was out of the game.
Oh yeah, the Blitzer is movement bust as well, just to make it even. So everybody is movement 6 on the elves. So even the Blitzer. But to be fair,
I mean, it's a problem, but it's quite low on the list of problems, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's not even making page 1, is it?
No.
Right now.
No. The world famous quite not a movement 6 moves.
If he one-turn touchdowns this with 4 elves and none of them quicker than 6, I need to really study how that's done.
He will be very lucky.
How lucky! Everybody has plenty rerolls.
You'd have to bend the rules of time and space. So, oh yeah, Kequity-wise, this is. I mean, Dio will be at home touching himself. This is very high in the Kequity, isn't it?
What is happening?
He's just hitting.
He's doing some hitting. How are you surprised? That's what the Dark Elves have been about pretty much all game, and it worked in the first half, didn't he? He chipped a couple of important Black Orcs, got his a Black Orc and a Blitzer, got his touchdown in nice and unhassled.
Why the
And he
loner?
lost an elf or two. Still had 10 elves at the start of the second half, and then they just all died.
Why did the loner move instead of hitting himself? I don't understand.
Don't hang in details. Ooh, and the elves stood so many defense. So all 5 elves on the line.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I mean, you
cannot. You surely need to.
You pull 2 elves 1 step back and you pray for the blitz. It's your only chance.
That's not going to work.
This is doom. This is failure.
You need to be up on the 1 square away from the line, and you need a blitz, and you need to pray.
Look, if there's one thing that I do seem to have a rep for, other than only ever coaching dwarves, it's that I'm quite feisty. You can beat me, but I don't go down easily. What misses?
Getting
the reason is that when you look at a situation like this, you think, okay, so when this is a glorious victory, how did that happen? What's the story? And the only story that works in my head here is that you roll a blitz.
In a deep, potentially a deep kick, roll the blitz.
Yeah, with ideally a deep kick so that you can get to it, leaving the Orcs stranded at the front. So you need your 2 viable players available to go for how this story ends well for you, which is a blitz. And at this point, if you're setting up those 2 deep and 3 sacrifices on the line of scrimmage, you may as well just concede. You're done.
But you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to concede. Yeah.
No, I suppose you can just click turns.
Yeah.
But there is still that 1 shot.
Yeah, I don't understand it. My second half formation in terrorizing with MT. Yeah, perfect. Ooh. I better like the plan of getting blitz, but he didn't get that either.
No, it's very unlikely you were going to get blitz. It's a 1 in 12.
I don't know.
But it's 100% unlikely you get a useful blitz if you set up like this.
Yeah. So now even if now he can miss the pickup a couple of times without it.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. In fact, I would have been tempted to fill the hole in the middle just to stop any chance of the loner coming through.
Yeah, he might. I'm not sure there's anybody standing because he's going to 3-dice everybody.
He is. And now these Dark Elves are just an SPP pinata.
but it's almost gone. There's not much pinata yet. It's almost empty.
Y dale a la piñata.
He might end up killing everybody and try to skill up the Black Orc. He's already trying just with.
He has got 4 rerolls if he can get into position to hand off to it. The very sunny does not affect a handoff.
Nope.
No, I think he should. I think at this point you worry about the next game, not this one.
It is the right play.
Obviously, there are those 2 orcs, the 2 elves at the backfield. You do need to slightly deal with them, but
if they stay down there, you don't really. It's clear.
Certainly, Dionysian would respect looking for your chalice win, not for your game win. Interesting, he's dropped that Black Orc back just in case. That's a tiny little bit of safety there.
The loner can move. Oh, are they coming forward? Nope. Nope.
What's the hope? A very late cage dive to try and take it to kicks on
anything else?
He can make a 8-man. He can make a cage around the ball.
Yeah, you can make a solid 9 block, can't you? Just roll it forwards.
I missed
you
that.
Shouldn't. That has its own weaknesses.
I don't dislike it by now, where there's only 2 elves, though. If you can foul that elf off.
And this is why you don't fight when you don't need to fight. And it is perfectly okay to skip turns in your defensive drive and go to overtime.
Yeah, but he didn't even fight. He was mainly just trying to chip pieces, which he could have been doing anyway. He was chipping pieces and still standing people in the way. Elyod had to hit to get forward.
Yeah.
Like that runner, I have no clue what that runner was doing.
Not only
Yeah,
he had
the
to hit,
runner had
he
a
had to hit,
suicide wish, definitely, didn't it?
he had to hit with the pylon every time.
Oh, and we got a save. Now we got the strength 4 down safety just in case something goes. Or is he setting up to hand off to that buff? I think he is. I think he is. I love it. I love it.
We're loving it, loving it, loving it. We are loving it like that.
Must be.
Although, do you need guard on that Black Orc against the Elysian?
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's always useful. You might get a double. You could get some diving tackle, which would definitely be useful.
Even tackle. Would be
he can try that a couple of times. The thing is, the Dark Elf cannot even get to the ball. Actually, I will. If he tries to hand
do
off,
it right now. He's far enough away that if it fails, it's not a problem.
Actually, if anything, he needs to move people away so he cannot scatter into people and out. Well, now he's coming forward. But yeah, if you the Black Orc
spoils our fun. Because you're right. Now there's. I mean, I like to have people, as you said, in a circle. That means that if the ball, the only thing the ball can bounce off is the person that's handed it to the person trying to receive it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want the line hitting the line and then hitting out in that square. It's fine. He's going forward, making a double screen, and then he's coming for the pylon is coming around the corner. I was still perfect.
And that is why in
the
rugby,
wrong elf that turn, but never mind.
And that is why in rugby it is illegal to be in front of the ball once the ball hit the ground. Because it needs to be available.
Yep, and then okay, the Black Orc is fine there. It's not too bad if it's scattered that way. Up, and it gets it straight away.
That was fine. Lots and lots of walls of defense between the elves and where the handover took place. Even a bounce out the other side of the Black Orc.
It could. 1, 2.
No, it was
1, 2,
it was
3,
okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It could almost get to it if you.
And remember, he's left the punt recovery back there, so it was all good. He's played it nice and safe since he's been in a dominant position. He's done the handoff he needed to do. Although I think he hit the wrong elf that turn. It was again to make it off safe.
Yeah.
I'd still have hit the lodge guard one.
If he's really feisty, then he needs to pass to that the blitz on 13 star points.
I did think that, but it's really sunny.
Is it still sunny? Yeah. No, it's nice now.
Oh, is it?
It's nice now.
Oh, did we get a weather change? Yes, it is nice. Okay, well then, yeah, why not?
It
Certainly, if you could take one more elf out, I probably might risk it. Because certainly another tackle blitzer would be useful.
I like your thinking, Ado. I'm like, if I was the elf, I will probably do the cage dive and hope to get removed if it doesn't work. And if it doesn't promote, I will hit the concede.
Legal concede.
I've done that before. I've done that.
I thought it was only legal to concede if you don't have 3 for the next setup after a touchdown.
As soon in Blood Bowl 2, as soon as you only have 2 players on the pitch, or none in reserve, it's pitch plus reserve.
Exactly, or none in reserve. Yes.
So in theory, actually, he should stop hitting them.
Yeah.
I've stopped somebody from scoring with the Yeti by legal conceding.
Now it is a legal concede.
If I was, and again, like the ball thing, if I was owner, I will do the attempt to get in on the ball at one point.
And then concede, yeah.
And if
And
it
then
fails,
concede to stop the Black Orcs scoring.
Yeah, because it is the equivalent to a respect foul, right?
Respect foul. Yes, it's screwing over the opponent, but I'm fine with that.
It's the
a
same
game.
as to do the bowl. Like, if you don't win, you might as well do something else.
Yes, you can at least walk away thinking, well, at least I stopped him being in quite the position he would have been in next game. And if that's how if that's how you take away your happiness from a debacle like this, then I've got time for that.
Oh, only KO.
Oh. And it's always nice to leave a mark.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like the Dark Elves are going to do it this game.
They can still do it. Still got time. Come on. Does he even know he's legally conceding?
I don't know if he
wouldn't have known
knows.
that.
I don't know if he knows. He doesn't play CCL a lot.
Trust me, Sunday evening, if I'm down to 2 players and there's no chance of me getting the ball and scoring, and if he's about to scoring something good, I'm conceding.
Yeah, but it's not even to meaningly be. I don't know. It's because it's the right thing to do.
I'm not helping my opponent.
Exactly. I mean, your opponent wants to do this, and you try to avoid it, and that's it.
Come on,
I think it's a stretch to call it the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think I'd go so far as to say morally I have no problems with it. It's their choice.
Exactly. There's nothing stopping you
like
from
a turn
doing.
16 foul. If you want to do it, that's absolutely your right. You go right ahead. I'm not going to get salty about it. But
Mr.
Come
Papa
on.
Chest, I can agree
1,
on
2,
your
3,
thing.
4. Come on, Kate's dive that. 3+, 2+, and then the 6+. Everything with dodge. You have freaking nothing to lose. That strings 4 player is dead anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You just have the movement.
It was beautiful, the 4+3+2D, right?
And then you just need 3 yellow things. How hard can it be? And then he needs to miss to pick up 3 turns. Come on, Ornan. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh yeah, he strings 4, so it's only 2 dive. But you're not... That's not...
yeah, I thought at the time it left a space around the sideline to get in, but
It was. It was 3+, 2+, 6+. With a reroll potentially for the 6. That's not doing anything.
that's just it's suicidal, isn't it? It's just death.
Saving the team. Saving the team.
Saving the team for goal.
Which team? Yeah, sure. Why are you moving the dirty player? Come on.
Is that still a thing? Do people actually play that? Is that?
I think
Yeah,
some
actually, after the change, it went down to 2,000, around 2,000 players, and now around 2,000 players play Call every season. And it's not in the first page; it's not the first thing you see. So they are actively choosing to play there.
What?
Is that because you can concede as often as you like? That's all fine there, isn't it?
There could be more reasons. You would have to ask them, but that's one of the main
Why?
features. Yes.
Can anybody ask me if we're going for all that trouble? Why are we not just surfing that blitzer and pushing
I
it?
don't know. I thought instantly he set that up. I thought, oh, he's going to go for a surf. That's fun, and he's not.
It would have been 3 dices all the way.
Yeah.
Was he trying to skill the piece? What did it have? No, it's 99. Of course not. What is? I don't. Okay. I suppose.
Sometimes you try to be ultra safe, and
Is it just
and
me,
you
or
get
is this
to
a less good cage than the one he's had before?
Yeah, but just roll a power and stun him.
Yeah, at least it's fine. There's no elves that can do anything about
just
it.
roll
But
a power and a bludger, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you get tunnel vision, or I don't know how to call it, but you try to be ultra safe, and as a result,
No,
you
it
are
was
less
fine.
safe.
Look, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and now you're taking this cage dive when it doesn't, when you will have 3 dice against instead of taking
Yeah.
instead
But
of
then
taking.
it's very hard to stay focused on good choices when you're obviously losing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's relying on a stun.
That can also be said when you are easily winning.
And he did manage to score in time, just in time.
So guys, thank you very much for the match. It was a pleasure to watch it with you guys, and hopefully we'll see each other again.
Well, shame it wasn't a bit more of a spectacle. I mean, it's pretty much as we expected. The Dark Elves put up a good fight. They tried hard. They did a very good job in the first half, I thought. That very feisty attack up the side, I thought it was a bit risky, but it really paid off. One of those slightly difficult plays that then opens the entire half up for him, and it really did. But in the second half, they just melted like wax. And what we should all take away from this is what an incredible skill piling on is, even if you don't have claw, and how you should put it on all of your pieces.
Yeah, congratulations to Elyod, and commiserations to On. So Elyod walks on and is playing Dio. Dio's